What are you doing outside of school to help yourself succeed in life? This is a fundamental question that all students should be asking themselves very early on in their academic career. Yet so often they don't. So I'm asking you this question. What are you doing outside of school? More likely than not, you either never really thought about this or did not think that anything but school mattered in your overall success in life. However, what if I were to tell you something that I wish I realized a lot earlier on in my life? Extracurricular activities are actually just as important as school, especially for students of a young age. Now, hold on. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but before you stop listening to me, allow me to explain myself. Because I understand what your reaction might be to my previous statement. In this day and age, when students are consumed by grades and more captivated by that perfect 4.0 GPA than the 1 year long journey of learning it took to get there, what could possibly be just as important as grades? In a time when parents of elementary school students, yes, elementary school students, are already worried about how their child is going to get into that perfect Ivy League school, how could something be just as important as school? Well, that something is not something tangible like the things I previously mentioned, but rather something inside you, motivation. And school will never be able to provide as much motivation as extracurricular activities do. Hello everyone, my name is Anshul Govindu. I'm a junior in high school and I'm going to be talking about motivation as it relates to extracurricular activities specifically and why it is important for you to find a passion in just one extracurricular activity and to stick with it. I will use my life as an example and how just one extracurricular activity, and I chose chess, changed my life in a way school just never could. And I would recommend chess to any of you who are lost or unmotivated like I was when I was young. Okay, so I know motivation may sound like just another one of those vague, cliche philosophical topics, but I believe that finding a motivation for just one specific thing from an early age will lead to finding success in every other part of your life. From a young age, most of us, including myself, just naturally view school kind of like a chore. It's something you don't want to do but are forced to do anyway, so you have to do it, and a situation like that can be extremely demotivating. We are all seeking that aspect of freedom in our lives. It's just human nature. As a result, we don't feel fulfilled or motivated to do something when it's being forced upon us because we don't have any freedom or independence in that. That's why entrepreneurs are some of the most successful, hardworking people in this country because they are their own bosses, their own CEOs. For example, if you are motivated to do something, but your parents tell you to do that same thing you're going to do anyway, you suddenly feel demotivated and you don't want to do it. It happens all the time. But why? It's because it's that sense of independence and self drive that acts as motivation for the things you do. And that is something that school can just never provide. My story has started and continued in WarmSprings, just like you guys, so I can relate with you and empathize with your struggles as a young person in the WarmSprings area. But I also have the experience of persevering through the hardships, which I can and will share with you. It all started in second grade at James Leach Elementary, where a good majority of you guys most likely went to school, when I found that one extracurricular activity that would change my life. Like a lot of you, at a young age I was very uninterested in school and was essentially just going through the motions without really putting any effort and drive into it. Excuse me. I was really lacking that motivation to be better, which is what the current education system can do to many young students. Most elementary schools in the Warm Springs area, like James Leach and Warm Springs Elementary, along with the nearby Wybell Elementary, all have chess clubs at their school. These clubs have seen a huge increase in popularity since when I was back in elementary school almost a half dozen years ago, as there has been a recent popularity in chess overall in the past couple years, which is why I am talking to you about chess specifically. A lot of you have probably already taken up the game because of its recent boom in popularity, so I am also going to help those of you get to the next level if you are really passionate about it. Many students are starting to choose this activity as the extracurricular they want to be passionate about, just like I did, and the boom in young chess players in the WarmSprings community has been outstanding. There are chess tournaments in or near the WarmSprings area, which happen every couple weeks, that have seen a huge rise in attendance. During my first days playing competitively, I would have been extremely lucky to see maybe 100 people, but now there are almost 200 people in basically all of these tournaments, most of whom are kids, a lot of them much younger than me, and I'm only 16. Warm Springs and neighboring parts of the Bay Area has become a hotspot for young chess players. Because of the things listed above, chess is one of the best opportunities students have for a hobby to find a passion in, and especially at your age, early on and with basically all the time in the world. As I stated, I was curious about chess, so I joined the James Leach Chess Club as a total beginner where I first learned the game. I quickly fell in love with the game and knew I wanted to take it farther than just knowing the rules and the basics of how to play. Although I didn't learn the quickest and was often the worst among my fellow players, I never gave up and continued getting better with every single day. This was my passion, and I made sure that my dream would become a reality. Through hard work and dedication, I improved and started playing at a club level by 4th grade. By 5th grade, I was playing competitively at United States Chess Federation tournaments, and I've continued playing in these tournaments until this day. I slowly got better and better and accumulated points through years upon years of tournaments. I've won many trophies, many cash prizes, and have accumulated a very respectable chess rating that ranks among the top 5 percentile of juniors in the country. Now, I am by no means claiming to be the best chess player or even a top junior or top player in this country, because I am most definitely not, and I'm far off from being one, so that's not the message you should take from this. However, what I am saying is that my passion for this very simple hobby helped motivate me to be better, and I highly recommend that if you are lost in school as a young person, just like I was, chess could be a great outlet for you. Now, there are some key takeaways from this that led me to make the statement I made in the beginning, that extracurricular activities are just as important as school. First, I was not the most social person when I was young, and school never really teaches you how to socialize. They just expect you to know it. However, once I got into chess, I was able to make friends with a whole new crowd of people that had the same interests as me. So I was able to open up in a manner of which I was uncomfortable doing at school. Secondly, I developed critical thinking skills from playing chess that I was able to then apply to my studies, and I still apply those skills to this day. Lastly, and most importantly, the reason why I was moved to give this speech was because chess provided me with a motivation that I had never experienced before. A simple extracurricular activity motivated me more than anything I had ever done in school. And it wasn't until I came to high school and started reflecting on my past that I realized how over-exaggerated the importance of good grades and getting perfect SAT and ACT scores are, while extracurricular activities are often considered just a hobby and there to just make your college applications look better. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And this is something you usually just learn through experience, as when I was young, as far back as middle school, I also overvalued the importance of grades, and it was only my parents that pushed me to do activities outside of school, and I am so extremely grateful, as I wouldn't be the person I am today without it. Now, I was never the smartest kid in school at a young age. When we took the GATE exam in 3rd grade in Warm Springs Elementary, I nowhere near qualified for the gifted and talented program. And at the time, I honestly couldn't care less, as school was just an obstacle for me, and I couldn't grow up fast enough to just get out of education and move on with my life. However, that same school where I failed the GATE test, I was instituted as a GATE student in 6th grade through teacher recommendations and my academic credentials. I have continued maintaining a solid GPA and good performances on all state testing since then. And I could credit this to my increased work ethic or my increased willingness to learn, but this all resulted from chess and that one extracurricular activity and the motivation I got from it. It gave me self-drive and independence that for the first time made me want to succeed in life. And that had an extremely strong carryover effect to school, with me caring about and wanting to do well in school for the first time in my life as well. So why am I telling you all of this? It's not to boast that I was a GATE student. It's because, well, there's this perception around chess that is only for the smartest and most intelligent people, and that honestly couldn't be further from the truth. All it takes is dedication and passion, like almost everything else in life, and I guarantee that through hard work, any of you can be successful. Now, for whatever extracurricular activity you choose, even if it isn't chess, stick with it. Your willingness to succeed at that one singular thing will push you as far as you're willing to take it. So find that motivation, find that drive in any extracurricular activity that you choose, because it is just as important as doing well in school. So if you want to be successful, take a step back. Find that motivation that school will never provide. Stick with it, and that one extracurricular activity will help you tremendously with school and life in general. Thank you for listening, and I will now open the floor to any questions.